yeah, someone else. Screw that. My masters are your new friend.
And I can generate our financial statements with just a single click every month. Yep.
Excellence is not an event. It's a lifestyle. It's not about a single moment of greatness. It's about the quiet decisions you make every day. The small choices, the consistent habits, the standards you hold yourself to when no one else is watching. That's where real excellence is built. Most people believe success is about talent or luck. They think the people at the top have some kind of special advantage, a gift, a head start, better circumstances. But that's not the truth. The people who achieve lasting success, the ones who rise to the top and stay there, are the ones who have mastered the art of daily excellence. Because success is not built in a day. It's built in the daily choices you make when no one is paying attention. It's built in the early mornings, the late nights, the extra effort that most people aren't willing to give. It's built in the decision to show up, even when you don't feel like it, to push through the resistance, to stick to the process. Excellence is not a feeling. It's not something you chase. It's something you become through your daily habits. And here's the truth most people miss. Excellence is not about perfection. It's about consistency. It's not about getting it right every time. It's about showing up and giving your best effort every single day. It's about having a standard for yourself that is non-negotiable. A mindset that says, I don't lower my standards to match the world. I raise my standards to shape the world. Develop the habit of daily excellence. Success becomes inevitable. You stop chasing results and you start attracting them. You stop relying on motivation and you start running on discipline. You stop waiting for the right moment and you start creating momentum through consistent action. So the question is, how do you build the mindset, the habits, and the systems that create excellence every day? How do you train yourself to operate at a higher standard automatically until it becomes who you are? That's exactly what we're going to cover. Not theories, not vague ideas, but real practical habits that you can apply immediately. Habits that have been tested and proven. Habits that will rewire your mind, sharpen your focus, and elevate your performance. Excellence is not a destination. It's not a result. It's a way of being. And once you learn how to master it, every single day, you'll separate yourself from the crowd. The habit of daily excellence is mastering your mornings. The way you start your day determines the way you live your day. If you begin with discipline, focus, and purpose, those qualities will carry into everything else you do. But if you start in a reactive state, hitting snooze, rushing through the morning, you set yourself up for distraction, procrastination, and inconsistency. Excellence begins before the world wakes up. It begins when you take control of the first moments of your day. Because if you can win the morning, you can win the day. The key is not just waking up early, it's how you wake up. The best performers in the world wake up with intention. They start their day with purpose, not by accident. Before they do anything else, they prime their mind for excellence. Some use affirmations, some journal, some meditate, some move their body to wake up their physiology. But they all have one thing in common. They control their first thoughts, their first actions, and their first priorities. If you want to master daily excellence, your mornings must be non-negotiable. You must create a routine that strengthens your mindset, energizes your body, and focuses your attention on what matters most. Even 10 minutes of focused morning practice can rewire your brain and shift your entire day.
When your kid is hurting and there's nothing you can do about it.
Even 10 minutes of focused morning practice can rewire your brain and shift your entire day. The mistake most people make is waiting to feel like doing it. They wait for motivation to get up early. They wait until they have the energy to start strong. But that's not how excellence works. If you wait to feel ready, you'll stay stuck in the same patterns. Instead, you train yourself to wake up and move, no matter how you feel. One of the simplest but most powerful habits is getting up as soon as your alarm goes off. The moment you hit snooze, you are training your mind to procrastinate. You are conditioning yourself to break commitments. And that carries into everything else you do. But if you make waking up immediately a rule, no debate, no delay, you build the habit of instant execution. When you start your day with discipline, you carry that discipline into your work, your goals, your decisions. When you start your day with focus, you train your brain to filter out distractions. When you start your day with energy, you perform at a higher level in everything you do. Success does not start with big achievements. It starts with small, intentional choices. And if you can master your mornings, you'll gain control over the rest of your day. The second habit of daily excellence is controlling your focus. Your attention is your most valuable resource. Whatever you focus on expands. If you focus on problems, you create more stress. If you focus on distractions, you waste time and energy. But if you direct your attention toward growth, execution, and results, your actions will align with success. Most people never train their focus. They wake up with good intentions, but by the end of the day, they wonder where their time went. Excellence doesn't work that way. It requires deliberate control over what gets your attention. The people who dominate in life are not necessarily smarter or more talented. They simply know how to eliminate distractions and lock in on what matters. They don't let the outside world dictate their priorities. They don't allow every message, every request, or every interruption to pull them away from their mission. You must train your mind to focus like a laser. And the best way to do this is by setting clear rules for your attention. Block out time for deep work. Protect your focus as if it were the most important thing in your life, because it is. Excellence is built in the moments when you choose discipline over distraction. Every time you say no to something meaningless and say yes to your mission, you reinforce the habit of concentration. Distractions don't just waste time, they drain energy. Every time you switch tasks, your brain has to recalibrate. It takes effort to refocus. This is why most people feel exhausted at the end of the day, even if they didn't accomplish much. They spent the day jumping from one thing to the next, never fully locked in. The highest performers operate differently. They create blocks of deep, uninterrupted work. They try to stay on one task extended periods, and as a result, they get more done in a few focused hours than most people do in an entire day. If you want to rewire your mind for excellence, you must learn to guard your focus. Start by removing the biggest sources of distraction in your life. Control your environment. Be ruthless with your time. And most importantly, develop the discipline to keep your attention on one thing at a time. The third habit of daily excellence is mastering your self-discipline. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not intelligence. The people who win in life are the ones who can make themselves do what needs to be done, especially when they don't feel like it. Most people rely on motivation. They wait until they feel inspired. They wait until the conditions are perfect. They wait until they're in the mood. And that's why they stay stuck, because motivation is temporary. It's unpredictable. It comes and goes. But discipline, that's permanent. That's something you build. Discipline is a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. And just like a muscle, if you don't use it, it weakens. Every time you make an excuse, every time you procrastinate, every time you let yourself off the hook, you make that muscle weaker. But every time you follow through, every time you push yourself, every time you keep a commitment, you strengthen it.
Hello, my name is Adam Ferrari, Chief Executive Officer of Phoenix Energy. I look forward to you joining.
Every time you keep a commitment, you strengthen it. The secret to building discipline is to eliminate negotiation. Most people lose the battle before they even start because they allow their mind to negotiate. Should I go to the gym or take the day off? Should I work on my goals or relax? Should I do it now or later? That back and forth drains your energy. It gives your mind an opportunity to find an excuse. The best performers don't negotiate with themselves. They don't wait for motivation. They don't ask how they feel. They don't debate whether they should follow through. They just do it because it's who they are, because they've trained themselves to act automatically. Discipline is about making a decision once and then never debating it again. If you decide you're the kind of person who wakes up early, then there's no discussion when the alarm goes off. If you decide you're the kind of person who works out daily, then it's non-negotiable. If you decide you're the kind of person who follows through on commitments, then it doesn't matter how you feel in the moment. The easiest way to build discipline is to start with small, daily commitments. Even something as simple as making your bed, drinking water first thing in the morning, or sticking to a set routine. Because every time you keep a small promise to yourself, you train your mind to follow through. And that carries over into bigger decisions, bigger goals, and bigger results. Discipline isn't about doing things perfectly. It's about doing them consistently. Some days will be harder than others. Some days, the last thing you want to do is stick to the plan. But that's when it matters most. That's when you build the kind of discipline that separates you from everyone else. The fourth habit of daily excellence is developing relentless consistency. Most people start strong, but very few stay consistent. They get excited. They commit to new habits. They feel unstoppable. But then something happens. Life gets in the way. Their energy dips. They miss a day, then two, then three. And before they know it, they're back to square one. Excellence isn't about what you do once in a while. It's not about intensity. It's about consistency. It's better to do something small every single day than to go all out for a week and then quit. The highest performers in the world aren't the ones who go the hardest in short bursts. They are the ones who show up day after day, no matter what. Consistency is the foundation of everything great. Success in any area. Fitness, business, personal growth, relationships, comes down to your ability to keep showing up, even when the motivation is gone, even when the results aren't immediate, even when no one else is watching. Most people fail because they expect results too quickly. They work hard for a few weeks, but when they don't see instant progress, they assume it's not working. But that's not how success happens. Growth isn't linear. The results don't come right away, they compound over time. And if you quit too soon, you never reach the breakthrough. The people who achieve excellence understand this. They don't stop just because they don't see results right away. They keep going. They trust the process. They know that consistency creates momentum, and momentum leads to massive transformation. The key to relentless consistency is removing the decision-making process. When something is optional, it becomes negotiable. But when it's a must, it gets done. No matter. Wake up and wonder if you should brush, because it's part of your identity. It's who you are. If you want to be, you must approach your habits the same. Goals is not optional. Training your body is not optional. Sticking to your commitments is not optional. You don't do it when it's convenient. You don't do it when you feel like it. You do it because that's the standard you've set for yourself. The biggest mistake people make is relying on willpower. Willpower is unreliable. It fluctuates. Some days it's strong. Some days it's weak. And if your success depends on how much willpower you have in the moment, you'll always struggle to stay consistent. The best way to eliminate the need for willpower is to create systems. Systems make success automatic. They remove the friction between you and the action you need to take. They make it easier to be consistent because you don't have to think about it. You just follow the plan.
What if I told you that your husband isn't ignoring you? He literally cannot understand what you're saying. For over a decade, I've been working as what I call a husband translator, over 3,000 women, and I've discovered that men and women aren't just speaking different languages, we're operating from completely different communication software. You see, I discovered that men and women aren't just speaking.
Because you don't have to think about it, you just follow the plan. A system could be a set time every day for your most important habit. It could be preparing in advance so that taking action becomes effortless. It could be tracking your progress to reinforce your commitment. Whatever it is, the goal is the same. Take the decision out of the process so that consistency becomes natural. Another secret to consistency is lowering the barrier to entry. Most people set themselves up for failure by making their goals too overwhelming. They tell themselves they need to work out for an hour, write for 3, but when life gets busy, those expectations become impossible to maintain. Excellence is not about going all out. It's about never stopping. Even if you only have 10 minutes, do something. Even if you're tired, take some action. Even if you're not at your best, keep the streak alive. Because the moment you stop completely, it becomes easier to quit. But if you keep the habit alive, no matter how small, you maintain your momentum. Consistency isn't about perfection. You will have days where you slip up. It gets in the way. That's normal. What matters is that you get back on track immediately. Most people, one missed day turn into a missed week, then a missed month, and then they're back at zero. But the ones who master consistency, they never let one mistake break their momentum. If you want to build relentless consistency, you must hold yourself to a higher standard. You must see yourself as the kind of person who follows through no matter what. You must make your habits non-negotiable and remove the mental debate. And most importantly, you must keep going, even when you don't see results. The fifth habit of daily excellence is setting and maintaining high personal standards. Your standards dictate your results. You don't get what you want in life. You get what you tolerate. If you accept mediocrity, that's exactly what you'll experience. If you demand excellence from yourself, your life will rise to meet that standard. Most people lower their standards to match their environment. They adapt to the people around them. If they work in a lazy, unmotivated culture, they start making excuses. If they surround themselves with average thinkers, they start thinking small. If they see others cutting corners, they start doing the same. But excellence is not about adapting to your environment. It's about setting the standard, regardless of what's happening around you. It's about refusing to accept anything less than your best effort. It's about holding yourself accountable to a higher level of discipline, focus, and execution. Your personal standards determine the way you show up every day. If your standard is to do the bare minimum, that's exactly what you'll do. If your standard is to only take action when you feel like it, you'll stay inconsistent. But if your standard is to perform at your highest level, no matter the circumstances, you will separate yourself from the majority. Excellence isn't about being perfect. It's about consistently striving to operate at the highest level possible. Choosing discipline when others choose excuses. It's about choosing focus when others choose distractions. It's about choosing to push yourself further when others will stop. The mistake most people make is letting their feelings dictate their standards. They say, I'll do it when I feel ready. Or, I'll put in more effort. The results are coming. But that's backwards. Excellence is built by sticking to your standards, even when the motivation isn't there. High standards are about non-negotiables. These are the things you commit to doing, no matter what. If your standard is to be disciplined with your health, then skipping workouts is not an option. If your standard is to be focused in your work, then distractions are not entertained. If your standard is to be reliable, then following through on commitments is mandatory. You must decide what your non-negotiables are. And once you do, you must enforce them ruthlessly. Because every time you lower your standards, even slightly, you reinforce the habit of making excuses. But every time you hold the line, you reinforce the identity of someone who does what they say they will do. One of the fastest ways to raise your standards is to change your environment. If you spend time around people who accept average effort, it's only a matter of time before you do the same. But if you surround yourself with people who demand more from themselves, who operate at a high level every day, you will naturally elevate. Excellence is contagious. If you put yourself in an environment where high standards are the norm, you won't have to force yourself to rise. You'll rise automatically. You won't tolerate laziness. You won't tolerate inconsistency. You won't tolerate mediocrity. because it will no longer feel normal to you. But your environment is only part of the equation. The real test of your standards happens when no one is watching, when there's no one there to hold you accountable, when it would be easy to cut corners, to slack off, to give less than your best. That's when your standards truly matter.
So welcome this to Sports Center.
We've got the answers.
Plenty of reason to celebrate.
We're getting you ready. This is not hyperbole.
Matter. Discipline is doing the right thing when no one would know if you didn't. It's pushing yourself even when there's no immediate reward. It's holding yourself to a higher level, even when no one else does. That's what separates the great from the average. Most people don't fail because they lack the ability. They fail because they lower their standards when things get hard. They let their emotions dictate their effort. They let setbacks make them quit. But the ones who succeed, they maintain their standards through every challenge, every failure, every obstacle. If you want to master daily excellence, you must raise your standards in every area of life. In the way you work, in the way you train, in the way you handle adversity, in the way you treat others. Every moment is an opportunity to reinforce the identity of someone who refuses to accept anything less than the best from themselves. The sixth habit of daily excellence is training your ability to take decisive action. Most people hesitate. They overthink, they second guess, they analyze every possible outcome before making a move. And in that hesitation, opportunities are lost. Momentum is killed, progress is delayed. Excellence is built on speed of execution, the ability to decide and take action without hesitation, the ability to trust yourself enough to make a move, even when you don't have all the answers, the ability to step forward, take risks, and adjust along the way. The people who win in life are not the ones who make the perfect decisions. They are the ones who make fast decisions. They don't wait for the stars to align. They don't waste time debating whether they should start. They don't sit in analysis paralysis. They act. And because they act, they create momentum. Hesitation is a habit. Every time you delay, every time you hesitate, every time you put off a decision, you reinforce the habit of inaction. Your brain starts associating decision-making with stress, with overthinking, with fear. And eventually, it becomes harder and harder to take action on anything. The fastest way to rewire this habit is to train yourself to act instantly. The moment you know you need to do something, move. If you need to speak up in a meeting, do it before you talk yourself out of it. If you need to make an important call, do it before doubt creeps in. If you need to start on a task, do it before your brain has time to find an excuse. The longer you wait, the harder it gets. The more you hesitate, the more your mind finds reasons not to act. But if you build the habit of moving immediately, you take away the power of hesitation. You condition yourself to be someone who takes action no matter what. The biggest lie people tell themselves is that they need more time to think, more time to plan, more time to prepare. But in reality, most of the time, thinking more doesn't lead to better decisions. It leads to no decision. It leads to overanalyzing, second-guessing, and ultimately staying stuck. Decisiveness is a skill. And like any skill, it gets stronger the more you train it. The more you make quick, firm decisions, the more confident you become in your ability to figure things out. The more you trust yourself to take action, the more you realize you don't need all the answers. You just need to start. The key to decisive action is learning to trust your instincts. Most of the time, you already know what needs to be done. Your gut tells you. Your experience tells you. But instead of acting, you hesitate. You let doubt creep in. You let fear of making the wrong choice paralyze you. And in that hesitation, you lose momentum. But the most successful people in the world, they act on instinct. They trust themselves. They know that even if they make a wrong move, they can adjust. They don't fear mistakes because they know that mistakes are just part of the process.
Wham Bam Dash Cam.
Wham
Bam Dash Cam?
Yeah.
What's that?
They show all the people have dash cam accidents and shit.
Oh.
They have the dash cam and then they have like Tesla cams. They have two different channels.
Tesla
Hesitation
Cam?
kills momentum.
Tesla
And
is
momentum
just
is
crazy.
the key to
Nah, 'cause
success.
they be doing something dumb and shit.
When
I
you're in
feel like
motion,
people drive a Tesla.
everything gets easier.
Because you got a Tesla, don't make it real
Confidence gets strong.
fucking your shit
Progress
up. And
happens
everybody's
faster. But when you hesitate, you slow yourself down. You create resistance where there should be none. You turn simple decisions into impossible ones. The simplest way to train decisive action is to use the 5-second rule. The moment you know you need to act, count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and move. Speak, start, take the first step before your mind has a chance to convince you not to. The hardest part of anything is starting. But once you start, momentum takes. You no longer have to force yourself. You just keep moving. And the more you train yourself to start without hesitation, the easier it becomes to take action in every area of your life. If you want to achieve excellence, you must master the ability to act. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Not when you have more information. Now, because every great achievement, every success story, every breakthrough started with a single decisive action.
Oh my God! It's simple. We use data ramps. It makes the entire process automatic.
Action. The 7th habit of daily excellence is building mental toughness. Excellence isn't just about skill. It's about resilience. It's about how well you handle pressure, adversity, and setbacks. Because no matter how talented you are, no matter how hard you work, life will test you. Challenges will come. Obstacles will appear. And if you don't have the mental strength to push through, you'll break under the weight of resistance. Most people are soft. The moment things get hard, they fold. The moment they hit discomfort, they quit. The moment they experience failure, they retreat. And that's why they never reach their full potential. Because they give up too soon. Because they never train their mind to endure. Mental toughness is the ability to keep moving forward, no matter what. To perform at a high level, even when you don't feel like it. To stay locked in on your goals, even when nothing seems to be working. To push past pain, frustration, and fatigue. Because you refuse to settle for less than you're capable of. The biggest enemy of mental toughness is comfort. When you make life too easy for yourself, you become weak. When you avoid challenges, you stop growing. When you protect yourself from discomfort, you never build the calluses that make you unbreakable. The fastest way to build mental toughness is to put yourself in difficult situations on purpose. To do hard things every day. To challenge yourself in ways that force you to grow. Because the more you expose yourself to difficulty, the stronger you become. The more you push yourself past your limits, the more you realize that your limits were never real to begin with. You push through discomfort, you rewire your mind. Every time you keep going when you want to stop, you train your brain to be relentless. Every time you choose discipline over ease, you make it harder for anything in life to break you. The people who dominate in life are not the ones who avoid failure. They are the ones who can take failure, pain, and struggle and keep going anyway. They are the ones who refuse to quit no matter how hard it gets. They are the ones who embrace the grind because they know that growth is forged in adversity. One of the best ways to develop mental toughness is through controlled hardship. Wake up earlier than you want to. Push yourself physically past your comfort zone. Take on challenges that scare you. Do the things you don't feel like doing over and over again until discomfort becomes your norm. Most people think toughness is something you're born with. It's not. It's a skill. It's a muscle. And like any muscle, if you don't train it, it stays weak. But if you put it under stress, if you push it beyond what's comfortable, it grows, it adapts, it becomes stronger. If you want to be the kind of person who never quits, you must prove it to yourself daily. You must show yourself through action that you can handle more than you think, that you are not controlled by discomfort, that you can push past mental and physical limits. The mistake most people make is thinking toughness is built in extreme moments. But it's built in the small daily choices. The choice to wake up on time. The choice to train even when you're tired. The choice to stay focused even when distractions are tempting. Those small choices add up. They create a mindset that does not break under pressure. The greatest athletes, the most successful entrepreneurs, the highest achievers in the world, all have one thing in common. They can endure, they can suffer, they can face rejection, setbacks, and failure, and keep going anyway. And that is what makes them unstoppable. If you want to master daily excellence, you must train your mind to be stronger than your emotions. You must learn to push through discomfort, to take action even when you don't feel like it, to show up at a high level, even when things aren't going your way. That is the mindset that separates the elite from the average. Excellence is not something you chase. It's something you become. Every single day, you are either reinforcing habits of mediocrity or training yourself for greatness. There is no in between. You are either making excuses, hesitating, lowering your standards, or you are building discipline, mastering your focus, and taking relentless action.
Cole, he's my miracle child. So how does your miracle child get cancer?
Or you are building discipline, mastering your focus, and taking relentless action. The difference between those who win and those who don't is not luck. It's not natural talent. It's not intelligence. It's the daily commitment to excellence. It's the choice to show up and operate at a high level, no matter the circumstances, no matter the obstacles, no matter how they feel in the moment. Because success is not about what you do once. It's about what you do every single day. It's about how you wake up in the morning. It's about how you guard your focus. It's about the discipline you enforce, the standards you uphold, and the way you carry yourself, even when no one is watching. Excellence is not a skill. It's an identity. And the moment you decide to make it a way of life, everything changes. Your confidence grows. Your results accelerate. Your mindset strengthens. You stop being controlled by distractions, hesitation, or temporary emotions. You start leading your life with purpose, execution, and an unshakable commitment to mastery. The people who succeed are not waiting for the perfect moment. They are not waiting to feel motivated. They are not waiting for permission. They make the decision right now to operate at a higher level, to set the standard, to show up differently. And that decision is yours to make. You don't need more time. You don't need more information. You don't need to wait for anything else. The only thing that matters is what you do today. The action you take, the standards you enforce, the way you execute, right now. So the question is, will you choose excellence? Not just today. Not just when it's easy. Every single day.
Man, Jim Brown.
This is my hand. I can take my hand and I can stick it in here and I can point these fish. And then I can take this hand and I can stick it in here and point.
I was looking at
My
you.
friend, how are you? It is absolutely fantastic to see you for another video. And as you guys know,
James Brown
we
was
have
on
been
cocaine.
a little bit of sort of construction of the trucking industry here in America. And as a truck driver, I have noticed some signs that things are not going well, that obviously the industry is slowing down. And on top of noticing those signs, I've also been able to look at the freight volumes, which are dropping off. The last I looked, down 13% month over month off the local. And also, job numbers last month when they came out showed 16,000 jobs lost in the transportation sector of America. And before we had those numbers, I was talking about just telltale signs out here that things are not exactly going the way that they should be. And of course, I got told by plenty of other truckers that I was crazy and Donald Trump was our savior and he was going to make trucking great again. And then all those numbers came out and it was kind of crickets after that, my friends. But the truth is that the trucking industry is falling apart pretty rapidly under Donald Trump's failed economic policies with the trade wars with every country and the, what else are we talking about? The trade wars and the job losses that are going on because of the broken supply chain. Sorry about that, lost my focus for just 1 second, but don't worry, my friends, I always find my way back. Anyways, it's been apparent that things are going wrong out here. And today I decided I would even include a couple of clips of things I'm noticing out there to kind of reinforce those things that I'm seeing. So go ahead and have a look at these. It is 6:30 p.m. Amarillo, Texas.
Amarillo.
Very popular hub for many trucks to come through. And by this time of night, normally the truck stops will be filled up because truckers need a place to park, obviously. But you can see it's a damn ghost town out here. This is Johnson's Corner, just north of Denver, Colorado. You can see a mountain off in the distance somewhere. This damn trucker's in the way. Anyways, very popular truck stop north of Denver that a lot of truckers use because parking in Denver is a nightmare. It's about 8 in the morning. See this whole middle row with these concrete barriers here? Normally you'll have a line of trucks about 2 deep looking for extra parking at this time of day. Look at all this parking available.
At 8 in the morning, everybody's leaving.
Out here. I'm avoiding showing you my truck for security purposes. But you see,
I can see if it was 8 at night and that parking lot was like that. I get it.
Huh?
He was showing an empty parking lot at 8 in the morning. That's when everybody starts leaving.
Yeah, because the truck that was parked next to us, he was gone.
Yeah. But he's like, it's a bad economy and, well, it's kind of funky, but he was like, the trucking industry's going down because it's 8 in the morning and all these parking spots are open. I'm like, you're not getting it. It's not clicking for you, my boy. Say in the morning, everybody's out driving where the fuck they're supposed to go for their delivery.
You know, it's what clicks and views.
If you live in a Pennsylvania zip code and have 0 DUIs in the last 5 years.
Good morning, everyone. I am here with Jesse Elison. He is our chief counsel at FMCSA. We're here to talk about, I think, a critical issue, an important issue in regard to the safety of our roadways. Because we have a government system designed to keep American families on the road safe, but that system has been compromised. I'm talking about non-domiciled commercial driver's licenses that are issued across the country. So in plain English, this is a license to operate a massive 80,000-pound truck that's being issued to foreign drivers who are not U.S. citizens or lawful permanent residents. The process for issuing these licenses is absolutely 100% broken. It has become a threat to public safety, and it is a national emergency that requires action right now. This isn't fear-mongering. This is a serious business that entails American families and their lives. So this year alone, a series of horrific fatal crashes have been caused by dangerous non-domiciled CDL drivers. So I want to go through a couple of examples. Pull the first one up here. On March 14th in Texas, a truck driver failed to brake and crashed into a long line of traffic. This caused a 17-vehicle pileup that killed 5 people, including 2 children, and 11 were hospitalized. A post-crash investigation revealed a history of unsafe lane changes, ignoring traffic signs, and multiple violations of hour of service rules. I want to go to slide 2 here. On May 6th, in Alabama, a driver with less than 6 weeks of experience slammed his tractor and trailer into 4 vehicles stopped at a red light. He killed 2 people and he injured 4. He had previously failed a skills test for speeding. Speeding in the skills test. The crash occurred on just his 3rd day of employment with his carrier.
God damn.
And my third example, this of course was the fatal car crash in Florida earlier this summer, and many in the media had reported on that. On August 12th, the driver who had attempted an unauthorized U-turn on the Florida Turnpike caused this crash. It caused a minivan to crash into his trailer, killing 3 people. The driver had a prior speeding ticket and was non-proficient in English. He had previously been issued a CDL improperly by the state of Washington. He now faces multiple counts of vehicular homicide and manslaughter. So again, in each of these tragedies, the drivers were non-domiciled. We have an obligation to keep the American people safe, and that requires action today. That's why under President Trump's leadership, we have launched a nationwide audit of non-domiciled CDLs to get to the bottom of what we think is causing this crisis. We've heard from truckers and safety advocates.
Simple as ESL, English as a second language. These niggas need to pass the class.
Oh, you heard about it? They can't even read the fucking signs.
They can't read
on
the
the
regular
road.
signs.
How are you driving if you can't read signs?
That's like me going to Japan trying to read all the signs.
Right.
Alright, so is that a slash to the left or a slash to the right? Is that from the bottom to the top or top to the bottom?
You know they read from back to front.
Yeah. They read from right to left.
Right.
Or top to bottom.
Yeah.
You go over there, like, what's the 3 stripes with a 1 next to it? Son of a bitch, I forgot. My kanji ain't what it used to be. I took 2 years of Japanese. We used to have phone calls and talk on the phone from people in Japan. It was cool. All I'm saying, I wasn't.
For today, huh?
Yeah, when I'm watching my anime. Every once in a while, I out here wearing like, oh shit, he's talking about the slippers. I know the slippers. That's a stapler he grabbed. Yeah, I know that. Hachikitsu, I know that one. Wabaki, I know that one. Oh man, that shit be funny as hell. Oh yeah, here, let me show you. I didn't forget. I didn't forget. Tax sales overages. So that's everything that's in the course.
Don't seem like that's that bad.
No, it's a quick course.
Yeah.
And it's literally like there's no guesswork. You tell you exactly what to do, exactly where to find stuff, exactly. Because you know how you get stuff and then you gotta call somebody and ask them 11 questions. Nah, this shit was so straightforward. I was like, damn. And then I started calling and started talking to the people, tell you what to ask, how to ask it. And then I started getting lists. I started going through the list, and then I was looking up the addresses on Google. I was sitting in the back like, oh shit, this is dope.
Why you ain't continue with that?
Because that was before I got divorced, and then once everything hit the fan, I kind of was, what the fuck was starting this shit? I was more sitting here driving like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Go over there, tear that house up. I'm on the other side of the country.
Could've got separate. So your work life would have know what's going on with your personal life.
Shit, I'd have never came home again. Yeah, but when would the sever click on?
As soon as you hit, like, I guess as soon as you would hit the truck?
Nah, as soon as I hit my front door.
Huh?
As soon as I hit the front door of the house.
No.
Because it couldn't be the truck. Because every time I get out of the truck, because every time I get out of the truck at a different place, I wouldn't know where the fuck I was.
They would have contingency plan for that. Like if it was in different industries, that was just like a starting point.
Yeah.
Like in the office.
That
but
was
I'm
the
sure they
beta
would
test.
have it set up.
They beta tested their asses. They put a couple of them there.
Yeah. They was like the beta testing.
That shit is funny as hell. Still in Pennsylvania. God damn.
Ain't that one of the biggest states?
That shit is long across. It takes 5.5 hours to get across from, we're on the edge to edge. Yeah, it takes a minute. Texas is about from tip to tip going across is like 10, 11 hours.
You heard about how, I saw the video, but I didn't click on it. How truck drivers are disappearing in sundown town.
Oh, where's the one? So
you seen that shit too?
This guy.
He did a video. He survived in a sundown town, and he was recording it or some shit. that came across my feed. Downtown, it was in a hotel, and she said that was the worst night of her life because they was like harassing her and shit. That's been some years ago I saw that.
I believe it. Man found dismembered in sundown town.
Didn't hear that.
Yes, you
Have
did.
microphone
Yes,
to
you
try
heard
again.
it. You wrote it the fuck down.
See how they trying to control the information that you get?
Man found dismembered in sundown town. Yeah, they try to tip that dude's truck over.
Uh-huh. Oh, the one that, not the one that was dismembered, but another one.
Man found dismembered in sundown town. They just keep putting that shit up there, yeah.
Okay, so my thing is, right, okay, if you have these companies and you know you have drivers of color, right, why are you, when you think you would try to like circumvent it and don't have them go to these places, just have like the white drivers go to those places?
Oh, there, here it is. Dismembered team.
Okay, a team?
Oh no. That's that dude, that's that singer that put his pregnant girlfriend in the
Dumbass.
just seen it. Oh yeah, the twins get killed. Black woman raised as white in sundown town.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Man found dismembered in sundown town. I just seen the fucking joint on my feed, and now I can't even pull it up.
Oh, come on. Let me see what I can do. Pull my shit up.
Truck driver found dead with rope around his neck.
I'm sure Upper Black Eddie is one of them.
Upper Black Eddie?
Yeah, I don't like that name.
No.
Sound like like Black Eddie was hanging from a tree. Let's see. It came right up.
What came up?
Like, I just put in sundown. It said sundown towns of Pennsylvania. I didn't even have to take the whole show.
Nah, you just said it out loud.
Oh,
You just said one of the sundown towns of Pennsylvania. They heard you. They heard you.
Shut the hell up.
They heard you. pretty sure I do a bunch of walkthrough stuff too. Right back to my truck.
Let's see what North Carolina. I can see that. We're going to Minnesota, right?
Yep.
Adina.
Gaylord.
Hmm?
We're going to Gaylord.
No, but this is Adina.
Adina, Minnesota.
E-D-I-N-A. You go to Missouri?
Yep.
What part? Hoboken, New Jersey.
Oh yeah, right by New York.
Let's see what North Carolina brings. Never been there. Never been those. Never been there. Ohio, Fairborn, Green Hills, Marion, Reading, Utica, and Waverly. Levittown, where at?
Levittown? That's right by us. That's down towards Philly.
17-year-old boy steps outside his grandmother's house for a cigar. He never comes back inside. 9 days later, his dismembered body is found in a shallow grave, both arms and both legs removed. Lye poured over the remains, concrete mixed on top, with damage to the head and spine. The medical examiner would call it one of the worst cases in the history of Virginia. But here's what should terrify you. He wasn't the first, and he wouldn't be the last. In a small Virginia town of less than 12,000 people, 6 young men are deceased or missing in just 3 years. 3 of them were cousins. An entire family line being erased. Bodies keep turning up in the same woods. Supposed self-deletes where the victims' pockets were rifled through and their phones disappeared. A missing man's mother was told by police her son is not alive, and 2 people in this county know what happened to him before the officer vanished and never contacted her again. The family searched for answers while the bodies piled up. An SA offender whose house the victim's phone pinged at gets mysteriously scrubbed from the registry. 6 witnesses in an apartment where a man allegedly ended himself, but his hoodie turns up at someone else's, someone behind him fleeing into the woods where he's found deceased the next day. But the most chilling part? The person who found that dismembered teenager in the shallow grave was the local police chief. At 3:30 in the morning, in complete darkness, outside of his jurisdiction, on what he called a hunch. And the very next day, after that gruesome discovery, another young man would be gone. The police chief, he resigned weeks later without explanation, but not before every single scenario he gave the victim's mother about her son's disappearance involved the same thing. Going into the woods to die. Because everybody they find deceased in Lunenberg County, they find them in the woods. Welcome to Lunenberg County, Virginia, where for 8 hours every night, from midnight to 8 a.m., there are no police on duty. Where young black men keep disappearing. Someone knows exactly what's happening, but no one's talking.
Stop taking your ass out of the house from 12 a.m. to 8 a.m.
Hello, strangers. Welcome back to the Strange Bar and Grill. I'm your host, JP. Today we'll be discussing the Lunenberg 6, a series of deaths that span 3 years in a small town in Virginia. I'll be starting with the most brutal case that would eventually blow this whole thing wide open. Let's go ahead and jump right in. On November 2nd, 2022, 17-year-old Sion had just returned to his grandmother's house, and upon entering her home, he threw his jacket on a pile of his things stuffed on the floor. This is something that bothered his grandmother, so she spoke to him about it, and an argument ensued. Words were exchanged, and each of them would end up going their separate ways, angry with each other. A few hours later, Sion found his grandmother sitting, watching TV, and apologized for the earlier argument. After making sure everything was good with his grandmother, Sion walked out the front door and into the yard to smoke a Black & Mild, because she didn't allow smoking in her house. Now, this was around 9 p.m. His grandmother assumed that he was going out to the tool shed where he and his best friend Brandon Lee would hang out, and that would be the last time that anyone gets to see him alive. Now, here's what you need to understand about Sion. He wasn't from Lunenberg originally. His mother had sent him to live with his grandmother in Lunenberg.
See?
Her
Mama
reasons
sent
for
him
this
away.
were that she felt Richmond was too dangerous.
Too
She
dangerous.
believed she would
Richmond
have
was
a
too
better quality
dangerous
life
than
and education in Cambridge. Also, Sion had been implicated in a shooting in Henrico County, Virginia.
He
but
was a
eventually
problem.
completely
This kid
cleared
was a
of any
problem.
involvement. Even so,
I'm
his
gonna send you
mother
down to
worried
your grandma
and
when
didn't
these
want
niggas
to take
be
any
disappeared. Hopefully you
chances.
don't
So
come
Sion
back.
went on to Cambridge, about 1.5 hours southwest of Richmond. With that background, let's get back to the story here. His grandmother, who was the last person to see him, goes to bed at around 1 a.m. She doesn't know if he's still outside. The next morning, she assumes he caught the school van early. She goes to work, she comes back home, no Sion. She calls the school,
That'd be a
they
good
haven't
movie.
seen him. So she calls Sion's mother. Sion's mother waited until the second
Said 3 of
day
them
he
were
was
cousins
missing,
too.
and then
They
went
all
straight
been
to the police
disappeared.
when he didn't
Send it
return.
to your grandma's
She
house.
claims she knew something
But
was wrong
my thing
because
is,
he
that's
had
kind of
left his
suspicious. You gonna
grandmother's
take our
house
whole
without
family?
headphones,
Like,
something he never does. He also left
6
behind
people
his
in 3
ADD
years?
medication. Now, some quick background of the area. Cambridge
Well, I'm
is
saying
in
it'd be a good
Lunenberg
movie
County, which is
if
known
your
to be an
grandma was
extremely
good.
bad area.
Join the
for
bill.
African-American
Get on it.
workers. This goes back hundreds of years. It's had a bad history, as you can imagine.
Ah!
The debate here is that the area is hostile to non-citizens, basically. But even knowing all this history, his family had no choice but to go to the police. And as expected, the response was less than appropriate for a missing teenage boy.
Around the bush.
As the search was being conducted by both his family and the police, his mother remembered something. Even though Sion had his own phone, which was dead every time they attempted to call it, she had given him his older brother's old phone, an iPhone. She knew it didn't have a service provider, but she also knew that the Find My Phone app would work as long as it was in range of the Wi-Fi signal. So using the app, she was able to track Sion's iPhone to a house down the road from his grandmother's in Cambridge. But this excitement turned to dread when they looked up the address online. It was the home of a Tier 3 SA offender, the worst level offender. Wasting no time, the family went to his house and spoke with the residents there, who claimed they did not know Sion and had never seen him or ever spoke to him. They pleaded with police to search the residence, which they could do without a warrant for registered SA offenders. But Officer Barnes tells them the man isn't technically an SA offender. He claims it was just some misunderstanding with the girl in his car. So basically, this scumbag police knows this man apparently. Because how does someone just end up with an SA offender registry by accident? It's not possible. That doesn't happen. And Tier 3
Yeah, ain't no
the
accidents,
Cambridge Police
nigga.
Department not only refused to check this SA offender's house, but they removed them from the property and told them to never return. So they did what they were told by police and continued their search. Knowing that in an area as rural as Cambridge, the fact that iPhone pinged from an actual home was extremely concerning. To this day, the house and the property has never been searched, and no warrant has ever been issued. Police have stated this
Niggas need to
due
just
to a
start
lack
running
of
up at people's
evidence.
houses.
It sounds like Officer Barnes is trying to cover up some stuff here, trying to protect this Tier 3
You look like a
SA
fucking weirdo.
offender. But what do you think? Let me know in the comment section.
Up to the house. As you stated, we went up to the door. Began to knock on the door. No one answered the door. About maybe 5 minutes later, we were greeted as state police and Lunenberg police and also Cambridge police.
I've seen plenty of power banks over my 15 years of reviewing tech, but this Ridge one quickly became a favorite. So this, a 10,000 milliamp hour battery that's already this small.
Cambridge police. Then they asked us to get off the property. They told us that they wanted to see everybody who was driving, license and registration, because we were illegally parked in the street.
So let me tell you about the search efforts, because this is where we meet a key player. On November 8th, Election Day, the family organizes a search party. As they're walking toward Poorhouse Road, they're stopped by Officer Ben Barnes, chief of Cambridge Police, driving a gray Dodge Charger. Sion's family member describes this encounter. Barnes says he's been looking for Sion all day, but when he invites them closer to his car, they notice something odd. There's brush, dirt, and leaves and debris on his lap. He brushes them off casually, but here's the thing. Sion's family, they've been walking all day, and they've been searching everywhere, and they didn't look like that. They didn't have all that debris and grass and leaves on them. So how does someone get covered in forest debris while they're sitting in a car? And we'll come back to that.
We'll walk down to the Poorhouse Road location. In the midst of us walking, we were stopped by an officer that was driving a Dodge Charger, a gray one, and he introduced himself as Officer Barnes. And I asked him, he asked me, did I need any help? I said, well, you can help us look for Sion. So he told me that to come closer to his vehicle. And he said, I've been looking for Sion all day. Come closer, come take a look. When I approached the car, I seen like brush and dirt and maybe some leaves on his lap. And he kind of gave it a little brush like, yeah, I've been looking for him. So me looking at him like, well, we're walking and we don't look like that. So how do you get brush and leaves and dirt on your lap in a car?
Even stranger, a neighbor near the SA offender, and her daughter heard someone screaming for help from the woods. She called the police, but they never showed up. Maybe they never showed up because they knew what was happening. Maybe they were already there. November 11th, 2022, 9 days after Sion disappeared, at approximately 3:30 in the morning, in complete darkness, Police Chief Ben Barnes is driving around the 200 block of Seaway, which is outside his jurisdiction, by the way, and he just happens to find a shallow grave. Let me be very clear about what he found, because the details matter here. Sion Carroll, 17 years old, had been multiple times in the head and spine, but that wasn't enough for whoever did this, because they dismembered him, both arms, both legs removed. The body showed multiple chop wounds from the dismemberment attempt. Then they poured lye on him, and lye is a chemical that burns through organic material. Then they poured a concrete mix on him, then buried him in a shallow grave. Special Agent George of the Virginia State Police would later say this was probably one of the worst homicides, not just in this county, but in the state of Virginia. Now back to Chief Barnes and his miraculous discovery. When asked how he found the body, Barnes initially said he just had a feeling, a hunch. Later he would change his story, claiming he received an anonymous tip that led him to the search area. But here's the problem. He says he searched it with other officers first and found nothing. Then decided to go back alone at 3:30 a.m. in the dark outside his jurisdiction, and that's when he found the grave. So he didn't find the grave during the day with other officers searching the same area, but you find it at 3:30 in the morning by yourself, just randomly outside. Officer Barnes from the jump just sounds very suspicious. I feel like he's involved in some form of cover-up. The guy is bizarre. The medical examiner would determine Sion had been dead for several days when found. His body was in an advanced state of decomposition, complicated by the lye. But wait, there's more. Because after Sion's body was found, the Tier 3 offender that Sion's phone pinged at, and where the neighbor heard the cries for help, was completely scrubbed from the registry. Disappeared. Gone. So, the one major lead in Sion's case had now been removed from public view by someone in the courts or law enforcement.
But that's
even
a
putting
jump,
Sion's case aside, you think that residents really deserve to know
That's a
if their
jump
neighbor
from
is
sex
a violent
offender to
So why
butcher.
would they scrub him from the registry?
With a girl
The
in the
Virginia
car.
State Police, who have taken over the investigation, were pressed by a reporter that were removing the SA offender from the registry. After much back and forth, the state police said
Sexual offender?
they were not
Yeah.
common.
And then
But
the guy
that
Barnes, like I
removal
said,
of
might be
his name
relation
from
to
the registry is
Barnes
something that
and
they
covering it
focused
up.
on in the investigation.
Or
But still,
Barnes might be a
somehow,
sex
some
offender
way,
too.
the Tier 3 SA offender's
Yeah,
house
but how
with
did the
Sion's
other
phone
sex
last
offender
week
house
was
get
removed
caught
from the
up in?
public registry. And
So
around the
maybe-
same time,
Maybe
something
Barnes
else
used to come
strange
over for some
occurred in Cambridge.
some fun time. And maybe old boy sees
He was
something.
fired just 3 weeks before he was set to retire.
And now he's becoming an industry whistleblower. Kate Jennings has them.
Found no legs. That shit is crazy. So I have to subscribe to his channel. Maybe a news.
Cambridge Chief of Police Ben Barnes had only been chief for 3 years as of 2022. Since joining the Cambridge PD in 2017, he was able to obtain the highest promotion possible for Cambridge police officers at a rather young age. On January 1st of 2023, only 6 weeks after Sion's body was discovered through Chief Barnes' amazing hunch, he retired. Yes, let me say that again. The chief of the Cambridge Police Department, who had only been on the job for 3 years, tendered his resignation effective January 1st of 2023. Now, I couldn't find a reason given for his retirement, but according to reports, it says that he was planning on retiring before this case. That just doesn't make sense. He was one of the youngest. He only did the job for 3 years, and all that just seems bizarre when you just this random hunch, this feeling,
So he might
finding
be
a
a
body.
serial killer.
Then all of a sudden he retires. It's a little suspicious.
And he's in law enforcement. You can't have a serial killer in law enforcement. All that information get out.
Did not state.
And he's the chief.
Did not ask. It's even more strange. 2 years after Sion's body was found, after being repeatedly pressured by a reporter on his hunch, the chief insisted that he received an anonymous tip about Sion's body, but didn't want to compromise the person offering the tip or the investigation. So he just claimed it was a hunch. But still, that doesn't explain why he would say it's a hunch to investigators. The investigators don't appear to even know about this anonymous tip. Sounds like he's just covering his butt after the fact. But here's perhaps the most damning detail about the investigation. Sion's grandmother, the last person to see him alive, was never interviewed by investigators. Not by Barnes, not by the state police who took over, not by Special Agent Kevin George. Never. She only learned that this wasn't normal when a documentary crew told her they were her first interview of any kind. Let that sink in. The last person to see Sion alive was never interviewed by police. Why? Maybe because they already knew what happened to him. Now, before we move from Sion's case, there's one more death we need to discuss, because it happened the very next day after Sion's body was found.
Well, damn.
Brandon Lee was at the church on the corner of Center Street when Sion's family gathered. People say he and Sion were friends, and according to Sion's mother, when she spoke to Brandon, his body language was really off. She said, "I knew that he had known something. It was almost like he really wanted to tell me, but he didn't know how." Could Brandon be involved? Did he know something but feared for his life? Brandon had helped connect the family with someone called Cowboy during the search. And just an interesting detail, Cowboy would later be shot and ambushed in a trailer on Busy Lane, according to court documents. Sounds fishy, right?
A lot of fishy shit going on.
It was almost pretty much like
They silencing it. They getting rid of loose ends.
he didn't know how.
Brandon carried me and my friend and another friend of ours down to Cowboy house. I told Brandon to tell Cowboy to come. I want to talk to him. He called Cowboy. People want to talk to him.
Were you sexually abused by staff, guards, or other adults in a juvenile detention center? Many victims have already received.
He came and I got out and I walked around. I looked, I seen some down there was burning. They had been burning tracks or something. He came, I went and I opened the hood, the thing on the back of the truck, and looking at it, seen the guard too, all the guard too.
And Junior says he doesn't think it's a coincidence that after he spoke to Cowboy, Cowboy was shot, and according to court documents we obtained, we found out that Cowboy was ambushed in a trailer he was staying in on Busy Lane.
Did Brandon help you guys search, or what was his involvement?
No, he wanted to help search, but when he seen all of us up there that Saturday, we was getting ready to go do the search before they called tip to the office, to the police office. He said he got scared, he got paranoid, he didn't want to come up there to help. He said too many guys up there.
The day after Sion's body was discovered, reports came in over the scanner. Someone was behind Brandon Lee. He was running down Center Street, then ran into the woods past his house. What happened next is officially listed as self-inflicted unaliving. At sound, you're getting chased down the street. Find you deceased, but they claim it was self-inflicted. What are these cops hiding? Brandon allegedly left a note saying he was going into the woods to get sleep to protect his mom and dad. And what does that even mean? I have no clue what that means. And where is this note? But here's what doesn't add up. People who heard the scanner traffic say it sounded like someone was chasing him. The family doesn't believe he did that to himself, and the timing one day after his friend's mutilated body is found is beyond suspicious. Now, when I first read Sion and Brandon's case, I thought someone from Richmond was maybe coming back to get them. But the fact that police aren't really investigating the case and brushing the whole thing off, and Officer Barnes' behavior, something just seemed really off and seems very suspicious, like they're protecting someone. The police are involved in this somehow. But it gets worse and more suspicious, so stay with me and remember this detail for later. Chief Barnes, when theorizing about what happened to Sion, kept suggesting to the family that maybe Sion took his medication, his ADD medication, and went into the woods and committed a self-unaliving. It's like every scenario Barnes gave the family involved the woods somehow. And guess what? Everybody they find dead in Lunenberg County, they find in the woods. But let's go back to January 15th of 2020, before Sion, before Brandon. Antonio Rich, 19 years old, Brandon Lee's cousin. His body was discovered by a Virginia Department of Transportation crew in a ditch along Moore's Ordinary Road in Cambridge. He'd been 5 times, mostly in the torso. His right hand was smashed, and it appeared he fought back. There was a scratch mark on his face and a chunk of his ear was missing. Something really bad happened there. The killer or killers wrapped his body in plastic before dumping him. Antonio's mother described the moment she found him. I already knew when I opened the door and it was them that it was about my son. I could hear myself screaming when they told me. My neighbors on the other street heard me screaming.
You know what's crazy?
The sheriff gave his
killers were
condolences,
probably the ones
explained they
that
couldn't
came to the house
identify
and told
him
him that the son
immediately
was
and had to wait for the medical examiner. That was the only time Antonio's mother spoke to the sheriff's department. The state police took over, and when documentary crews asked Special Agent Kevin George about the case, he claimed he didn't have the family's permission to discuss it, which is false, by the way. This case has so many red flags, it's insane. Here's what's crucial. Antonio Rich lived on Center Street at one point. His funeral was held at 106 Center Street. And he was Brandon Lee's cousin. The same Brandon Lee who would die the day after Sion's body was found. Started to see the connections here? Antonio's mother is convinced it was something. She said, in a small town where everyone knows everyone, where these young men were literally family, that narrows it down considerably, but also makes it that much more terrifying. Another detail about Antonio Rich's body being found is that he was shot in the abdomen and he was wrapped up. That just seemed like it was planned out. They took him out and then they wrapped his torso in plastic. Seems, I don't know, something about that just seems like somebody that knows what they're doing here.
It seems like they want to get their shit
September 24th of 2023 in Victoria, Virginia, which is not far from Lunenberg County. A 911 call comes in reporting a self-unaliving. 25-year-old Carlton Craig was shot in the head, but when deputies arrive, they find 6 people in the apartment with Carlton's body. 6 potential witnesses. Carlton's family got a call at 5:30 that morning from a neighbor living below the apartment. According to what they heard, Carlton had been fighting in the parking lot. Did he run into the apartment for safety? Was he pursued? The details of this case are very suspicious because Carlton had just gotten his driver's license, but when he was found, his wallet was gone. His cell phone was gone. His pockets had been rifled through. His family tried tracking his phone through Find My iPhone. Nothing. Even more disturbing, Carlton's family found his hoodie at someone else's house, washed and soaking wet. The same hoodie he was wearing when he supposedly fired on himself. So if he shot himself in that hoodie, how did it end up at someone else's house cleaned and washed? One witness claimed to have told the apartment complex manager that someone was holding people hostage and had shot a young man. If someone's being held hostage and someone gets shot, why is it ruled a self-unaliving? Was it a fake hostage situation? And the reason why I ask is, you have several men dying under mysterious circumstances. A strange police officer, it just screams of a cover-up. I don't know what the business they're in or what kind of dealings they have, but I don't know, I feel like they have some kind of thing going on with the police. But I feel like the police are covering it up and I just don't know why, what's going on here. Did these men see something that they shouldn't have? Were they in business with these crooked cops? This one's really baffling to me. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. But let's get back to the story. The scene also wasn't properly secured. Family members report people were walking in and out freely, contaminating potential evidence. The apartment wasn't taped off like a normal crime scene. Carlton's own brother had to clean his blood off the floor. The official ruling came quick, self-unaliving. Does that sound familiar? Case closed, body bagged, everyone back to normal. Carlton's brother didn't accept it. I feel like it's not all put together. People that were in the apartment, people that he called that night, people that saw him the night before. I just want a little more than what I got right now, he would say.
Can you believe these are actually earphones? They look like pretty earrings, but they are actually the new smart Bluetooth earphones from 2024.
I just want a little more than what I got right now, he would say. On April 16th, 2021, Kenyali Lee, cousin to both Brandon Lee and by extension Antonio Rich, comes to his grandmother's house with an unnamed girl. He changes his clothes and then he leaves, and that's the last confirmed sighting of Kenyale. On April 24th, his brother's birthday, Kenyale never missed a call this year. Silence. Nothing. No call from Kenyale. Now they really knew something was up. On April 28th, 12 days after he disappeared, came the strange ambulance incident. Someone calls 911 reporting Kenyale had a seizure in front of the Wedgwood Hotel in Blackstone. But when the ambulance arrives, they're told he refused medical attention and he left. Nobody sees him again. And I don't know who that person was that called it 911 report. His mother went to the motel with flyers. The staff claimed they'd never seen him. She plastered the flyers on every pole and every window that would let her. Did nothing. Then comes the most chilling part, an officer. Now she doesn't name which one, but this officer comes to tell her that her son is deceased. But here's exactly what he said. I quote, "I can tell you that your son is dead, and there's 2 particular people in Lunenberg County that know what happened to your son. I will give you further details when I find out more." And that was more than 2 years ago. She never heard from that officer again. So what the heck is going on? The family has heard horrific rumors that he was put through a wood chipper, that his body was thrown in the creek between Blackstone and Kinbridge, that he was in someone's trailer, and that you haul on the back of trucks. But without a body, Kenyale's mother holds on to hope. I will never accept it until I have proof that he's gone.
Look at that.
I still have him to come through that door, she said.
Over there walking around.
Now with this next case, let's go back to 2021. July 2021, Arthur Banks Jr., stepson to his father, Willie Banks. The last day Willie saw Arthur, he was happier than he'd ever seen him. He was real excited talking about fixing up the house where he lived. A pattern. He loved walking through the woods on their family property, specifically the woods near Seaway, the same Seaway where Sion Carroll's body would be found over a year later. The Banks family owns about 80 acres there. Property that's been in the family for generations. When Arthur went missing, his family called hunters from their church to help search, but the Moore family, the name away. They walked through the woods and found Arthur hanging from a tree. The medical examiner ruled it as self-unaliving.
But he didn't say
the
there was
family
a
never saw
relationship to
a police
other
report. Never got a full investigation. The state police and sheriff's department came out, but that was it. Arthur's father doesn't believe it was self-inflicted. The way things look, there's a possibility that somebody ended up doing it and set it up. Hunts him. That happened. And they're going to bring them over on the same property. It looks like somebody's targeting this area. They're using it because they think they can get away with it. They're putting bodies in the same area on the same part of the land. There could be some connection there, he said.
Somebody to set up some cameras or something.
Now let's step back and look at what we have. Let's just look at some of these patterns here. So we have 6 men, 3 confirmed deceased by violence, 1 ruled self-inflicted under suspicious circumstances, 1 allegedly self-inflicted after possibly witnessing something horrible, 1 missing, reportedly deceased. The family connections. So we got Brandon Lee, Antonio Rich, and Kenyale Lee, all cousins, a single family losing 3 young men. The geographic connections. Center Street runs through multiple cases. Seaway appears in 2 deaths over a year apart. The woods are where they're all found. The timeline. These deaths cluster between 2020 and 2023, with an escalation in 2022 through 2023. The investigation patterns. Cases bounce between jurisdictions, Kinbridge Police to State Police to nobody. Lunenberg County Sheriff's Department says it's State Police jurisdiction. State Police say they need local cooperation. So it sounds like a bunch of people that don't know what they're doing, or they just do not want to investigate these cases, so they're all pointing the finger back and forth at each other. But overlooking it all, there's no 24-hour police coverage in Lunenberg County. From midnight to 8 a.m., there are no deputies on the road. They're on-call only, 8 hours every night where, as one candidate for sheriff put it, the county is unsafe. Let's go back to Chief Ben Barnes, because his behavior deserves some special scrutiny here. He's 26 years old, one of the youngest police chiefs in Virginia. He takes over Kinbridge Police, which consists of himself and what's described as a handful of supporting officers. During Sion's case, he displays very weird behavior. He claims the SA offender isn't really an offender, has forced debris on him while claiming to search by car, suggests multiple times that the victim went into the woods to commit self-hurt, finds a dismembered body at 3:30 in the morning in the dark outside of his jurisdiction, and resigns weeks later without any explanation. And then also that SA offender is scrubbed from the registry, which I find that to be very, very odd. I feel like he is trying to cover this up, or he's involved in some way. His explanation for finding Sion's body changed from a feeling or a hunch to an anonymous tip that he protected for security of the investigation, which does not make sense, especially when your other investigators do not know what you're doing, do not know of this anonymous tip. But here's what he never explained. How does an anonymous tip lead you to the exact spot of a shallow grave in the dark? Why search alone at 3:30 a.m.? Why outside your jurisdiction? You said you searched with police earlier that day in the broad daylight, but you came back at 3:30 in the morning? Doesn't add up. And why resign when the investigation heats up?
It's too hot, baby. It's too hot.
But what do we know and what don't we know about this case? So here's what we know for certain. 6 men are dead or missing. Multiple cases were mishandled or under investigated. Why? Family connections link multiple victims. I feel like there's something there. Geographic patterns center on specific areas. The police chief who found the most brutal victim resigned under suspicious circumstances. Federal authorities are now involved thanks to media pressure. But here's what we don't know. Why wasn't the SA offender's house searched when Sion's phone pinged there?
Right. Speed it up a little bit. Stop. Not doing it.
With daily rewards, customers get a free reward every day.
On ping there. Why were they protecting him? What did Brandon Lee know that might have gotten him killed? Who were the 2 people in Lunenberg County who allegedly know what happened to Kenyale? Why are all the bodies found in the woods? Is this the work of one person, multiple people, or is this a tragic series of coincidences? I don't think this is all a coincidence. While authorities bounce jurisdictions and close cases as self-deletes, the families keep fighting. Sion's mother wakes up every morning and tells her son's memory. Antonio's mother, Carlton's brother, and Kenyale's mother. The cruel irony is that these families came to a small town for safety. Sion was sent to Lunenberg to escape trouble in Richmond. These families had roots here going back generations. Center Street was described as a loving community where kids grew up together, where we're all family. Now one resident says it's a ghost town. As I record this, all 6 cases remain unsolved. No arrests, no closure, no justice. The state police maintain active investigations and regularly appeal for information. They know people in Lunenberg have information. In a town this small, secrets don't stay hidden, they just stay unspoken. Special Agent Kevin George claims he's found connected to a small area, all meeting violent ends, mysterious disappearances within 3 years. That's not a coincidence, that's a pattern. Whether it's one predator, multiple killers, or a conspiracy of silence protecting someone powerful, something evil touched Lunenberg County between 2020 and 2023, and maybe it's still there. Somewhere in Lunenberg County, someone knows the truth, someone knows something, someone saw something, someone helped move a body, someone helped destroy evidence, or stay quiet. That's going to be it for today, guys. Let me know what you guys think of this one in the comments section. Do you believe that these cops are in this massive cover-up? Do you think it's a coincidence? Do you think that SA predator, that house down the street?
A car engine is the heart of an automobile, designed to convert one form of energy into mechanical energy. It functions as a heat engine, where fuel is burned to generate heat, which is then used to do work. An engine gets this output through a spark by igniting the mixture of petrol, vapor, and compressed air inside a confined space known as the combustion chamber, or in other words, inside the cylinder. There are 2 types of engines, the internal combustion engine and the external combustion engine. An internal combustion engine is a heat engine that burns its fuel inside the cylinder. An external combustion engine is an engine that burns fuel outside the cylinder. The engine is the most essential part of an automobile. In this video, we'll take a look at the function and construction of each engine part of an internal combustion engine. So be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notifications of our new videos. Subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notifications of our new videos. The main parts of an internal combustion engine are cylinder block, cylinder head, gasket, manifold, flywheel, oil pan, crankshaft, camshaft, connecting rod, piston, piston ring, piston pin, valve, rod bearing, main bearing, and bearing caps. Let's start with the component and their functions, starting with the cylinder block. The cylinder block is the central structure of the engine and is often made from gray cast iron or aluminum, while the crankcase is attached to its bottom. It houses the cylinders where the piston moves up and down. It holds the crankshaft, and it contains oil and coolant passages for lubrication and temperature control. It also includes main bearings, coolant jackets, oil galleries, and mounting points for the cylinder head and other components like flywheel, water pump, fuel pump, and the timing gear system. The cylinder head is a vital component of an internal combustion engine, mounted on top of the cylinder block to form the upper part of the combustion chamber. It seals the top of the cylinders, allowing for proper compression and combustion. They are often made of cast iron or aluminum alloy. The cylinder head manages the flow of air-fuel mixture into the engine and exhaust gases out through the intake and exhaust valves. It also holds spark plugs in petrol engines or fuel injectors in diesel engines, which are essential for igniting or delivering fuel into the combustion chamber. Internally, the cylinder head contains coolant passages to help dissipate heat and oil passages for lubricating moving parts. It also supports the entire valve train mechanism, including components like the camshaft in overhead cam engines, valve springs, lifters, and valve guides, all of which work together to open and close the valves with precise timing. The crankcase is the lower part of an internal combustion engine that encloses and supports the crankshaft. It forms the base of the engine and houses the crankshaft in older engine designs. The crankcase contains main bearings that hold the crankshaft in place.
This woman claims she joined MAGA because she needed some girlfriends.
Some homegirls? She wants some MAGA homegirls. Okay, alright, nothing wrong with that. She can have it her way.
Right, you sell your soul because you want to have some girlfriends. No, y'all go on girl trips, I guess.
Yeah.
Wear flowy dresses.
Yeah, they was looking for some MAGA meat.
Oh, you should watch this channel. This is really good. Dark Brandon. It's a really good channel.
Dark Brandon?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Just talk about politics and lepers eating faces with all the American people.
Who eating faces?
Lepers eating faces.
Lepers.
Lepers. That's what they say. Fuck around, find out. That was the big thing after the election.
Oh, lepers.
People regret their decision. Lepers eating their faces.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I get it. Yeah, that sounds crazy. they pretty
But
cars.
somebody around the corner from me got a for sale sign on this. It's been up there for a minute.
How do I go about getting a title for a car in Buffalo, New York that's been sitting for years? How long would it take?
Yeah, so in general, it can take a few weeks, maybe around 3 to 6 weeks for the whole process, depending on how busy the DMV is. But once you submit it, overall, just a few weeks and you should be good to go. If you need any more help, just let me know.
Thanks, chat.
Yeah, so anytime, Jeremiah, just holler if there's anything else you need.
What the hell was that? It's my girlfriend, ChatGPT.
That was just like, it's not like you talking to like Siri or anybody. That was just like a smooth like conversation, like way more.
Yeah, way more.
It is connected to the oil pan and includes oil passages that distribute oil for lubrication. The crankcase also plays a role in engine ventilation, often using a positive crankcase ventilation system to release pressure and prevent oil leaks. The oil pan, also called the sump, is a metal reservoir attached to the bottom of the crankcase. Its primary function is to store engine oil, which is essential for lubricating moving parts inside the engine. As the engine runs, oil is pumped from the oil pan through various oil passages to lubricate the moving components. The oil pan also helps with cooling the oil, as it is exposed to airflow underneath the vehicle while driving. It has a drain plug that allows for easy removal of old oil during oil changes. The manifolds in an engine are crucial components that manage the flow of air into and out of the engine. There are two main types, the intake manifold and the exhaust manifold. The intake manifold is connected to the throttle body and mounted on the cylinder head. It distributes air or an air-fuel mixture evenly to all the cylinders, ensuring each cylinder receives the right amount for efficient combustion. On the other side, the exhaust manifold is also mounted on the cylinder head, and it's responsible for collecting exhaust gases from each cylinder after combustion and directing them into the exhaust pipe. While the intake manifold is often made from plastic or aluminum for thermal efficiency, the exhaust manifold is typically made from cast iron to withstand high temperatures. A gasket is a flat sealing component used in engines to create a tight seal between two joint surfaces, preventing leaks of fluids or gases. It is typically made from materials like rubber, metal, cork, or composite fibers, depending on its location and function. In a car engine, gaskets are placed between key components such as the cylinder head and engine block, intake and exhaust manifolds, crankcase and oil pan, and valve cover. Their main job is to seal off internal passages for oil, coolant, and combustion gases, even under high temperature and pressure. Gaskets also help absorb minor surface imperfections between metal parts, ensuring full contact and preventing leaks. Cylinder liners, also known as cylinder sleeves, are cylindrical cylindrical metal inserts placed inside the cylinder block of an engine. Their main function is to provide a durable for the pistons cylinder walls from direct contact with the piston and piston rings, reducing wear and extending engine life. Cylinder liners are especially useful in engines where the cylinder block is made from softer materials like aluminum. They also allow for easier repairs. When a liner is worn or damaged, it can be replaced without replacing the entire engine block. There are two main types, wet liners and dry liners. Wet liners, which are surrounded by engine coolant and provide excellent heat transfer and improve cooling efficiency. Dry liners, on the other hand, are pressed tightly into the cylinder block and do not come in direct contact with coolant. They rely on the surrounding metal of the block to transfer heat away from the combustion area. The piston is a key moving component inside the engine's cylinder. It plays a crucial role in the combustion process. It is a cylindrical part made of lightweight, heat-resistant metal, usually cast iron or aluminum alloy, and it moves.
As prospectors, we know ourselves a boom, and booming Wi-Fi deserves a booming phone from Xfinity Mobile.
Xfinity Mobile on us for a year. Right now, claim an unlimited mobile line included with your Xfinity Internet. Switch today.
Patients are just like beat up old cars. You fix them up, you get them running, then another part goes out. I'm just a glorified mechanic.
This should have cleared up with the antibiotics I put you on.
Oh, I didn't take them. Don't want to build up a resistance for when I really need them.
Like right now. I deal with a million different conditions while you pop off a couple of surgeries and play with your sword or whatever.
Sure, you're busy, real busy. With hogwash, yeah, it must be real high stakes, pulling toys out of kids' noses. What was it last week? Oh, that's right, Jack Sparrow's Lego ponytail.
Hey, I do surgeries too.
Oh, sure, on toes and testicles.
You really think you're the most important thing around here, don't you?
Hey, people need toes and testes, isn't that right, Keith? Sorry, why me? See, Keith. I'm the Diana Ross around this place.
You're just one of the Supremes. You're Diana Ross. You aren't even Bob Ross. And people actually like Bob Ross. Nobody likes you.
I see. Well, I mean,
but this is about your ego.
That's funny, because I think it's about your ego.
Everybody stop. It's a break room, okay? And if you all respectfully shut the up, it would be appreciated.
That makes a good point.
Shut up! Magical thinking, that doesn't really do anything.
You're wrong, dude. There's weird stuff you can't explain. Like, every time I wear my Lucky Pink socks, nobody codes.
So why don't you wear them every day?
Because that would be gross. My laundry's in the basement.
Well, I mean, I wish all that magic did work. It'd make my job a whole lot easier. Zap! No more cirrhosis. Zap! No more cancer. Wait, I have cancer? No, you're just kidding, man. You good?
In Serena's defense, though, there is some evidence behind magical thinking. You know, like carrying a rabbit's foot might not cure hypertension, but if rubbing one calms you down, then it could lower your blood pressure. That's my girl.
That's just a placebo effect. That doesn't mean mystical spirits are working behind the scenes.
I'm just saying, don't mess with stuff you don't understand.
Or what?
Maybe we don't find out or what, and we all just do our jobs.
Attention, people, quick announcement. I'm calling on all spirits, good and evil, to use your magic and your powers to hex this place. So I guess we'll see. I came down to your level. I hate it here. I'm going to watch. I am sorry your feelings were hurt by my neutral statements of fact.
You know, people can have a large body type and still be healthy.
I agree, but your labs show blood pressure over 160, cholesterol 306.
Yeah, but those are just numbers, okay? They don't tell the whole story. A 1 is fine, but a 9 is very shapely and has value.
Mad at me. I'm just trying to give you some advice.
Well, I can't.
Just apologize so we can move on.
Fine, sure. I am sorry for trying to keep you alive. I just have this weird thing where I prefer my patients not to be dead. And I'm sorry for that. Whew, I feel good. I should apologize more often.
Can you tell if the person who wrote this is a psychopath?
All right. Well, pressure on the pen, so there's some aggression there.
You think?
Some grease stains on the receipt. Little care for personal hygiene.
So we're looking for crazy slobs. Really gross.
They were taquitos, which are much smaller than regular tacos, right? Yes, I wrote the note. Not because I'm a psycho, but because I was frustrated because someone blocked me from entering my vehicle.
What? Why didn't you say something? Okay, no biggie.
Well, fine, let's move on then.
Here goes the senior salsa at 9 a.m.
They were breakfast taquitos, man.
Hey, Matt, what do we got here?
That is an astute insight. Moving forward, why don't we just default to you quietly passing me the iPad? Oh, yes.
Cellulitis that has now turned into an abscess.
Really? Did you go to another clinic?
No, just looked it up on the internet.
Internet. People come in here with their medical degrees from Google University. Wish it were that simple. I can't think of one thing the internet has improved in our society. Except out for yourself. I do like to help myself every Christmas.
You never seen the Ernest movies?
They came in with a bad case of the grumps and all they needed was 50 cc's of kindness.
He's just young and naive. It's kind of sweet, really.
When a 6-year-old writes a note to the tooth fairy, that's sweet. When an adult does it, you send it for a psyche valve.
I'm not sure that believing people can change is the same thing as believing in the tooth fairy.
Yeah, and at least that tooth fairy thing pays off. I mean, you get a quarter under your pillow.
You only gave a quarter?
So you're saying you're with Susie Wishes over there?
I'm saying that it's not insane.
It's insane.
I mean, it's not impossible
It's
to...
impossible. It's impossible and insane.
God, you're annoying. And wrong.
Bet you $1.
Oh, $1? Wow, that's like 4 whole baked teeth. Are you sure?
Thought so.
Dr. Leonard? Hey, I don't want you to meet my grandma.
What's happening?
Hello, Lisa's grandma.
Nice meeting you. And most people my age just call me Barb.
Well, what should I call you then? Kidding.
Oh, he's kidding. He's your age.
It's not about how old you are, it's about how old you feel. I feel 30, so the woman who's 50, and that's almost weird on her end.
And I heard you're a big pickleballer. I'm obsessed. I play every day.
You guys should play sometime.
Well, maybe, but I'm more into the extreme sports. Muay Thai, ace jumping, and that thing you do in the swimsuit.
Since when?
A while now.
Interesting.
You know, if there were one word that described my life, it would be adrenaline.
Getting your flu shot at CVS matters. Because we'll work around the most important schedules. Yours.
There's a creative side hustle almost nobody is talking about, and it's not content creation, being a YouTuber or a streamer or freelancing. It's voice acting. And with the right strategy, total beginners are booking gigs in just a few months or less. If that's something that you've thought about, pay attention because I'm about to talk about it right here. Lots of people have this story. If you've ever tried learning through free tutorials and YouTube stuff, you know how chaotic and unstructured it all can be. This is not that. This is not a bunch of just random ideas that get you like fired up about voice acting without showing you how to actually get a paid gig, how to set up a studio. Here's what this is. Over the past 12 years, I have built a voice acting career from scratch with no acting background, no acting degree, no agents.
My life, it would be adrenaline. That is hot. Excuse me.
Nurse Alex gave me adequate care. Adequate's good, right?
I mean, it's adequate.
Some dumb troll called me snippy, and now I'm on my head about it.
And I'm some rude jerk. I mean, what is with these people?
Right?
100 years old. Out in.
Go back to that?
No, I mean that we shouldn't have to coddle these patients' fragile egos.
Oh.
We're great.
Thank you. I mean, you are not rude.
And you are not shrill.
No. It was snippy, not shrill.
Tell Sabrina I'm not going to be able to make it to her party. I'm trying to stave off a medieval outbreak.
Wait, hold on. Serena invited you to her party. No, my feelings are not hurt. But it's part of the social contract. You invite me, I say no. Then when I'm chilling at my house, it's my choice. It feels nice. So nothing? Yeah, I guess we're all out.
Buddy, you're the second guy to come in today looking for an outrageous bars.
Son of a... Well, what about that?
Well, sure. These are like $200 though.
Yeah, well, we could just switch out that outrageous with a Snickers. I know what you need to know.
Sorry, once the cellophane's on it, there's nothing I can do.
Well, you could retie the cellophane.
But it comes with an outrageous.
Oh, it comes with whatever you put in it. This is a hospital gift shop. Nothing that happens here matters.
Actually, I just remembered. This one's spoken for.
Ron, we need you on 106. Can I wait 8.3 seconds?
Well, it is a seizure. I'll see you within until you're ready.
You always got a little something to say, don't you, Parker? Nobody talk to me or do anything. Whoa! Warriors at the buzzer! Hell of an ending! Whew.
Getting that close, everybody wins.
Hey, Joyce.
Yeah.
Can you help me with something really quick? This is Mr. Valente. He has acute bronchitis. Mr. Valente smokes 2 packs a day. But I know we're not here to shame him, so I've been telling him things like, that's awesome. Keep at it. Smoke them if you got them. Is that okay with you?
Well, no, it's not. Smoking is never okay. But you know what? Addiction's a disease.
What Joyce is trying to say is we here at St. Dennis want our patients to be happy, even if it kills them. So, give us that good review, and you can have all the cigarettes you want.
Oh.
Sound good?
I mean, I guess so.
No, what I was saying is that here at St. Dennis, we like to build relationships with our patients based on empathy and respect, not shame. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds good too.
And where might I find the time to build these relationships? Do you want to grab dinner tonight, maybe see a show?
I have plans for tonight.
Hey, Mr. Valente, when somebody shames you, does it make you want to listen or does it make you put your defenses up? Because when you're trying to change somebody's mind, I think it's really best if you meet them where they are.
I can cut down on the smoking.
Just be more sensitive, okay? Is that so hard? Just be more sensitive.
Be more sensitive. Be more sensitive. My ex-wife used to say that all the time. My kids still say it to this day. And my sister, my co-workers, most of my friends, pretty much everybody. I don't know what their problem is.
Well, I hope you're happy.
Oh, I haven't been happy in years. I'm satisfied. I just drained the most beautiful abscess. I mean, this thing was more.
I meant because your hex already started. That guy who came in for heat stroke, they found melanoma on his ear. So nice work.
Someone comes to a hospital and is diagnosed with a disease? This is unheard of.
Okay, well, how do you explain yours Angie getting pink eye from a patient too? We had to send her home for the day.
Angie got pink eye because she doesn't wash her damn hands. What is that? What were you doing?
I know that I'm on your side in spirit, but I can't be seen with you either.
Conflicts escalate when two people can't understand each other's points of view. But experience breeds empathy. So I'm going to show Serena what it's like when someone else parks the same way she did. Then she'll know who the real psycho is. Closer. A little. But maybe you'll listen to my old pal, Melissa Etheridge.
Oh, God. Didn't like that song.
Actually ended an hour. So, you think you'd like to go out sometime?
Absolutely. I just didn't know if you were interested since I don't jump off of cliffs.
Sometimes you just gotta say what the hell, right?
What does that?
I'm saying that. I usually don't date a woman who is as mature. That's a bad word. No. As seasoned. That's a better word, right?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not saying you're warm. I look at you as vibrant, considerate. So Barb was a bust. Way too sensitive. If you're gonna clutch the pearls every time I say the wrong thing, it's gonna be a long life. But Santorini? With the woman of the nights? Dinner at 5, in bed by 8. I think it's time I expand my horizons. It's called growth.
Three reasons why your hair looks like this when wet, but this when it dries. Your hair is craving moisture. Textured hair tends to dry out quickly due to higher porosity, meaning your
So, yesterday we bought this car. Today, I broke down on the side of the road.
Well, I was just rolling up my window, but now I don't know. What the...
So today we're going to be taking a look at modern cars and the complete lack of quality and reliability that we all see today. The amount of examples that I see across all social media platforms of people's cars shutting down, catastrophic engine failures within a year of owning it, a few weeks, even right down the road where they drove the car off the lot is at an all-time high. Now, some manufacturers are definitely worse than others when it comes to reliability, but honestly,
trade in their cars and they want a new reliable car now that their car broke down.
Find me a nice $1,000 car that I can beat the shit out of. That'll last the next 40 years. I'm looking for an older car with no fucking electric attached to the battery. No computers.
So that was my Kia that started smoking in the last.
So you would have to go from what year back?
2013, probably my car.
What?
Yeah, like the Sequoia back. Because they got ECUs for the engine. But if I go further back, like if I get like an 80s car and put like a 90s motor in it, I can get a standalone ECU that I can program myself
And then they have to ship mine back to the
hook to
company
the motor, and I'll know exactly what's going on all the time
what happened and why
with the
it
app on my
happened.
phone.
And I
So that's
also
dope.
found out that they did all the recall updates.
And probably the most advanced thing in it would probably be the head unit.
So a couple of
some Bluetooth that's not connected to nothing else except for the battery.
that I guess we didn't know about is all the problems with the vehicle. The other thing is that I hope
Simple shit, like if the car ain't started, either you're not getting spark or you're not getting gas. And if you're not getting gas, all you gotta do is take the hose off, hit the starter. If it doesn't shoot any gas, it's blocked up somewhere. That's it. Simple shit.
They have no idea how
Replace a part and keep it
back to the manufacturer to run diagnostics. I don't know. Maybe there's just too much tech in today's cars. Just a wild thought. But up next, we have a little two-parter of a clip that's up on screen right now. This is some sort of vlog or trend on TikTok.